My name is CJ Jameson. I'm an engineer from Pivotal that works on Greenplum database. And today I'd like to show how we use the declarative testing framework through Concourse to create continuous integration and continuous delivery pipelines for the software. So if you want to see the current state of our overall pipeline, it's at gpdb.ci.pivotalci.info, and you'll get this nice screen showing in 3 columns how the software first gets compiled on a variety of platforms, and then some initial testing is done across a variety of the components of the software, the utilities, the queries, and of course most importantly the ICW, the install check world tests. Then finally a third round of testing is done on more complex clustered systems, and Pivotal runs those clusters as it is right now. And if you have more questions, we can talk a bit more about the more complex cluster tests. We're looking to make them more accessible. You might also experience outputs from the continuous integration testing on a pull request that you might make against the GPDB codebase. So here's an example of a pull request that came in, and it had a failure from Concourse, but it passed on Travis. We run Travis just as a simple check. It also runs ICG, but not much more. And we can go here to details to see the details of why it failed. Now, for public contributors, you may not be able to see the details, but if you ask on the mailing list or in GitHub itself, we'd be happy to give you some information. Reasons are around possible security vulnerabilities. Again, something we're looking into. And here, the PR pipeline, the pull request pipeline, runs many of the tests that are here in the second column. Well, it does a compile and also runs many tests, most centrally the ICW test, but lots of other important tests that folks have put into the PR pipeline. And I want to show the declaration of the way that this runs. So the declaration is under the Concourse directory in the main GPDB source code, so all the tests are versioned together with the code. When you make a pull request, it's just one pull request for both the tests and the code. And it's organized into pipelines. Pipelines describe the overall contour of this. They call into tasks, which describe individual test runs, individual compile steps. And the tasks themselves call scripts. This is using a framework called Concourse. More information about Concourse is available at concourse.ci. And so pipelines and tasks are written in YAML. Scripts can be in a variety of languages, but for the most part we use shell scripting. And there's a few pipelines, but the main one is called pipeline.yaml, and lets you declare in a predictable way, given what resource inputs, how the test should run, what image they should run in. So we run these tests on containers, and also where the outputs go and what success is defined as. For a given task, I'll just open up the ICG task here. So ICG just describes it's going to run on Linux, it's going to run on Docker. It requires the source code as well as a compiled binary. And it doesn't necessarily have any outputs. The main output of running an ICG test is, did it go green or not? It takes various params, which different parts of the pipeline might configure differently, or individual users might configure differently. And it runs this script. So it runs a script that gets passed in through the source code. Tag me on GitHub if you have any more questions. I'm at CJCJameson, or give a shout out on the dev mailing list. Thanks.